You're listening to the Dr. Shoup Show. We do dental differently. Must not miss information is online at ddsradio.com.
Well, hello, everybody, and you are with me at, honestly, my favorite part of the entire program. This is where you get to meet some really good friends of mine. Jessica, I have you on the line. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you very much. Jessica and I are kindred spirits because we're both scientists. We're both geeks and nerds. We communicate well with each other. So there we go. We should start a club or something together.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. All right. Now tell everybody that is listening, how long have I been your dentist?
Well, I can't remember because I was probably a baby.
I knew
I
you.
Say at least
I knew you
28
before
years.
you were even born. Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
And that's when I was 12 years old, and I was the youngest dentist in Indianapolis.
Yeah.
But here's for my listeners. Here's what Jessica and I are going to talk about today, and this is really interesting. She is obviously in the middle of knee deep in being Generation Y, and Generation Y folks, if any of you have been paying any attention at all, certainly march to the beat of a different drummer in many, many respects, things that are important, things that they value, things that they think are important. And so Jessica and I are going to have a conversation about what it is from a Generation Y person's perspective, from Jessica's perspective. What is there that you find to be valuable at Microscope Dentistry by Shoup, and why do you continually come? I mean, I know your folks got you started. It's a matter of habit, but tell my listeners from your perspective, when you come to the office, what do you get out of it emotionally, physically from being with us?
I would say a couple of different things. Number one, you guys definitely have a personal touch. Every time I come in, everybody knows my name. Everybody recognizes me. Sharon is awesome. I totally love her. You guys ask how my family is, things like that. So that's really important to me. I'm kind of a person of principle. So if I enjoy somewhere and I like going somewhere, I'm going to keep going and I'm going to keep telling people about it. And vice versa. If I don't like somewhere, I tell everyone about that too. So definitely you go above and beyond to create a positive experience, I think. And you have a couple of unique touches where, like, I guess I haven't been to a lot of other dentists, so I don't have I
was going to say you don't have a very broad perspective because I think I'm your only one.
Yeah,
you're completely spoiled.
Yeah, exactly. But I really like how you kind of you do special things to make people feel more comfortable because nobody, I would say, just looks forward to going to the dentist necessarily. But I always have a good time, and you guys have TVs and the glasses and the headphones, so it kind of takes you out of that element if you're someone that gets nervous to go to doctors or dentists. So I really like that too. It's kind of homey and inviting.
Well, thank you very much. You're listening to the Dr. Randy Shoup Show. I am your host, Dr. Randy Shoup, and I have my fellow scientific nerd geek friend Jessica on the line with me, who's Generation Y, and she's telling you from her perspective, what things are important. And one of the first things you said was the personal touch about things, and you complimented Sharon, my hygienist, who's actually my listeners have heard her before. She's been on the program, and so. People that are out there listening that are of, the older generation or so forth, and there's a massive amount of work being done about what there is about Generation Y people, what attracts them, and you really resonate with the social aspect, the friendliness aspect of the office.
Definitely.
That's cool. Now, because you are a scientist, and I'm not joking about that, she honestly is. From that point of view, what is there that we offer that feels good for you? Either from a I know they're really looking out for me, or I know that they have all the latest and greatest. What about that aspect of it? What do you like, or what do you not like?
Technology-wise, I'd definitely say you're changing with the times, and I think that's really cool. So every time I go in, you've kind of got something different. you don't just use, the scratchy, metal things. I think that's the scientific term for them.
It is exactly right. It's the scratchy metal thing.
And you guys use, the, gosh, I don't even know all the terms, but not the same old just polishing brush. You have a lot of different things, and I think that's really cool to see that continuously changing. And as a long-term customer, I've obviously seen everything.
Yes, you have.
So there's that. And the other thing is, from a research perspective, I think definitely people my age can get taken advantage of going to new establishments, especially if you're not like overly well-versed in dentistry, much like myself. So going to a new place is kind of scary, and I've heard a lot of horror stories where, just things have gone wrong. Like, my fiance is one of them, and so I know that it's nice to know that I feel comfortable that that's never going to happen, here or, Dr. Shoup Dentistry. So I think that's really cool.
So the technology and then our ability to kind of communicate all that with you gives you a really good sense of security and comfort that you are not going to be one of those folks that is the horror story.
Yes, definitely. And then if any time I have to have a procedure done or anything like that, it's always well explained to me ahead of time, and I been given a lot of time to, think through the procedure and things like that, which is really nice. And, I've had experiences like that where at other places that I haven't been given that. And then, maybe I was pushed into doing something I didn't really want to do.
Outstanding. You're listening to the Dr. Randy Shoup Show. I am your host, Dr. Randy Shoup, and you are listening to my good friend Jessica, scientist, researcher, Generation Y person, who is giving you her perspective as to what there is at Microscope Dentistry that is a value to her, is a benefit to her. So, Jessica, as you converse with your friends and peers and so forth that haven't what sort of stories do they tell you about their medical or dental experiences? What as a peer group are you all looking for?
I would say trust is a big thing. It's sort of almost exactly everything I was saying in terms of making it a more comfortable experience, making it something that you're not like dreading to go to, weeks before.
Sure.
And just an overall positive experience in general, I would say. And then, the people with the horror stories, it's nice to be able to tell them, that won't happen here. It may have happened in other places, but at least you can trust the industry, at least in this area.
Yeah, if something bad happens, it doesn't mean it's ubiquitous all through dentistry. I mean, it may be hopefully one of those one-off things, but there are places you can go where people are trustworthy, they're above board, they'll meet you face-to-face, honestly, explain things to you. So if for my listeners, if you are out there and you are not having the kind of an experience that Jessica has with us, I mean, obviously, Jessica, I would guess, recommend they go look around.
Yeah, definitely. As an example, my fiance had a pretty extensive dental procedure done on his front two teeth, and he was having a lot of problems. And I kept saying, go back to the dentist, and he refused to because it was another dentist, and he just never wanted to go back. So I sent him to you guys, and you guys were able to tell him what was wrong right away, fixed it, and now he's fine. So that's the kind of story I like to tell my friends if they're looking for a dentist. It's not always just there's sometimes a solution if you get a second opinion, basically. So I would say definitely researching and word of mouth is better than what you can find online necessarily, because you never know how dressed up testimonials are or how real they are. So having actual experience with someone is definitely most beneficial to me in terms of researching doctors and dentists and things like that.
Oh, outstanding. Well, Jessica, listen, I have kept you long enough. I really appreciate you sharing your thoughts and your time on the radio program with us, and I know my listeners have really found some value in it. Thank you very, very much. I really appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely.
Cool. Well, I'll see you at the office again next time, and until I see you next time, be sure to take care. And then, oh, by the way, she is engaged with a wedding upcoming, so good luck with the wedding.
You're listening to The Dr. Shoup Show. Exclusive insider info, audio, and video is online now at ddsradio.com.